Here's some more help on 2-7 homework, day 1. Okay, we're on the back now, and we're going to do a couple of these problems from this section. The directions say, find the range of each function for the given domain. All right, so we need to remember what range and domain are talking about. Range is referring to y numbers. It's like all the y numbers put in a group. Domain is talking about all the x numbers put in a group. So we're looking for the y's, and they're giving us a bunch of x's. Okay, so here's our function equation. F of x equals negative 3x plus 2. And here is our group of x's. This is the domain they give us. Okay, they're x's. So, what do? All we do is plug in each x value in for x, do the math, and out comes the corresponding y. We're going to do that how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay? So, since I'm not doing 13, I'm going to do 11 and 14. I'm going to take some liberties here and make some space for myself. I'm just going to write this out so you can see what's happening, okay? I have and I'm just going to even call it y, just to be friendly with myself. So y equals negative 3, and then I'm inputting something there. That's where the x goes, plus 2. I'm going to do it once right there. Okay, I'm going to do it another time. Right here, y equals negative 3, another input, plus 2. And then another one. I'm not going to do 12, so I'll do it right here. Y equals negative 3. You don't have to show all this work, or if you do, you can do it on a different piece of paper. I'm doing it just so you can see the mechanics of what's happening. So I have to do 4 different little problems. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's 3. Y equals negative 3, insert number here, plus 2, and then I'll do another one over here. Y equals negative 3, insert number here, plus 2. All right. So I'm inputting a value each time. Here I put the negative 2. That's an input value. Here I'm going to put negative 1. That's a different input value. Here I'll put 0. Up here I'll put 1. Over here, I'll put 2. I just do the math. I can just do the math. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Plus 2 is positive 8. That's my first y number. That's my first range value. Let's do another one. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Plus 2 is positive 5. All right. Next one, negative 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Okay, this one was next. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3, plus 2 is negative 1. And last one, negative 3 times 2, negative 6, plus 2 is negative 4. So I have 5 different y values now. And I write those in their own little bracket. And I could do something like this. I could write the word range, or I could put maybe the word R for range, maybe a colon, put my first bracket, and I list them. Now, we actually don't necessarily list them in the order they are. Okay, we could list them in just order of smallest to biggest. All right, and then if you wanted to show which one went with which domain number went with which range number, you could do a mapping, which we did on the previous assignment. You could do a mapping showing the little arrows of who goes to whom. All right, so I'm just going to list my general range numbers, and I'll put them in order from smallest to biggest. So negative 4, I use that one, negative 1, 2, 5, 8. That's all there is to it. Okay, now I'm going to do one more of these because number 14 is kind of a monster, just because it has these fractions. All right, the other two you can do on your own, but this one I'll go ahead and do with you. So f of x equals x squared plus 2. And remember, the same directions, they give us x values. So these are x values. This is domain. It's x. And I need to find all the y values that go with it. All right, so what I'm going to do, same thing. I'll do it over here, I guess, downwards like this. Let me move this so you can see it, like that. I'm going to write this equation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm just going to use y instead of f of x, just to be easier. Y equals, and instead of x squared, I'm going to put parentheses squared because it's whatever I'm inputting. So something squared plus 2. I'm going to do that 5 times total. Okay, there's 5. Now I'm going to input each of these values. So I have 0 right here. You know what, I'll change the color just so you can see. This is the number I'm inputting. 0, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1. Okay, so math can be a little intimidating, but I want to remind you, you have your calculator that you can refer to if needed. All right. First of all, the first one's easy. 0 times 0 is 0, right? Plus 2 gives you 2. So that wasn't too bad at all. Now this one gets a little hairy. 1/4 squared, or 1/4 times 1/4. If you remember fraction rules, that would be the numerators multiply, the denominators also multiply. Right? So that's going to be 1/16. All right, you could type it in if you're not sure. Easy enough. I could even show you how to type it in with parentheses and do the square symbol. I could do 1/4, and then outside my parentheses, I push my little x squared button. It gives me a little exponent of 2. There's my 1/16. And then I have to add 2 to that, which is a little hairy. Okay, we don't write mixed numbers in algebra. We don't deal with mixed numbers. We're going to leave it as an improper fraction, a real nasty, gross looking one, and we're okay with that. That is what we get. 33/16. Okay, now the next one is 1/2 squared plus 2. Well, 1/2 times 1/2, that would be 1/4, right? 1 times 1 and then 2 times 2. Let's go ahead and do 1/4 plus 2. See, it does all the heavy lifting for us. The calculator just takes care of that. 9/4 is what we need to write down. All right. Next, we have 3/4 quantity squared plus 2. So let's go ahead and just do that whole thing, just to be on the safe side. So you would do that, 3/4. In fact, I'm going to do it all in one step this time. I'm going to put my exponent of 2 there, and then put my plus 2 here. It takes care of everything. 41/16. All right? And lastly, 1 squared plus 2. 1 times 1 is 1, plus 2 will give me 3. So, there you go. We have a variety of values here, and let's just list these in whatever order we got them in. Or if you're not sure and you want to find out which one's biggest and whatnot, you could easily convert these to decimal. But, you know, for our purposes, I think we're good just listing them. It's already almost 10-minute video here. So what I will do is just make this in a different color so it's easier to see. I'm going to call this my range. And let's just do this real quick. 2, 33 over 16, 9 over 4, 41 over 16, and 3. Those are all the range values that go with these corresponding domain values. All right, now I want to remind you I'm making another video where I'm going to do everything I did on the other side plus these two all in the calculator. I'm going to show you a lot of different strategies that you can put in your tool belt to help a lot of this stuff be very easy, or at least make it easy to check your work. Before I turn off the video though, I want to remind you we're not doing number 18. Okay, I'm taking that off. I just don't think it's a very good question. So, good luck with this. I'm going to do another video where I do it in the calculator. So, stay tuned if you want to watch that one.